we will say this: Nico Iamaleava. You wrote some stuff this week. Is apparently moving up his commitment.
Yeah,
We thought it was going to be in May. Now it sounds like it may be next month in April. And
and there's some
Tennessee
people. There's
is
some
a
people that
heavy
think.
favorite.
Yeah, there's some people that think he could pop off at any time too this week. I mean, I've seen a lot of people, a lot of speculation out there. Recruiting is fluid, and if anybody tells you that they know what a recruit is going to do, they're pretty much full of it because we've seen a lot of really well connected recruiting guys get burned on stuff. I mean, they can change hour to hour. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, probably in April, could happen this week, maybe next week. We're talking about Nico being committed to Tennessee. But at this
Maybe.
point, if he does not commit to Tennessee, it's going to be a full meltdown on Vol Twitter. So just let's hope that doesn't happen for a lot of
Yeah.
reasons.
I mean, whatever happened on that visit, whether it was just a great visit and he loves it, or this whole $8 million contract thing is actually true, whatever it might be,
Oh,
the
Nico has just committed to Tennessee as we are on the air, as we're
are you?
recording this.
Don't make this up, dude. Are you serious?
I'm not, I don't know how to get that on camera here. Can you see that? Go Vols 24/7 here.
Wow! Wow!
Oh, we said
What timing
anytime.
was that, man? What
Wow.
kind of timing? We did that on purpose. Okay, I'll admit. I'll admit. We knew that this was
Yeah.
coming.
That
We
was a
knew.
setup. I mean, we waited till the very end until the, yeah, it was a setup. We knew.
Let me. Wow, that is real. Look at that.
Thank God you did not wait 2 more minutes, Nico.
Literally, I was about to end the show. That is amazing. And well, now I mean, what a pickup.
Yeah, I
Let's
mean
talk about it for a second here.
that is we've said for a while that you to win a championship in college football, to make an SEC championship run, you have to have a transcendent quarterback. Unless you're Georgia that just had this ungodly defense full of 5-star players this past year and they managed to win with Stetson Bennett. You need a transcendent quarterback like Alabama's had many times, like Clemson had with Trevor Lawrence. I mean, it's what you have to have. It's a quarterback driven sport. I mean, from the NFL to college football. And there's no one player that you can land that can have an impact on a team like a quarterback. And there's some people that think Nico's better than Arch Manning. Like Arch Manning gets the name recognition as being the 5-star quarterback and he's ranked higher. But if you took the names away, Nico is right there where he's kind of he's a little more fluid. Not gonna. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Arch Manning's game, but there's just some that think that Nico might be a little more talented. That if his name was different, that he would be the top ranked quarterback in the country right now.
I'll say this about him. I think he fits this system at Tennessee better than Arch Manning does. All right, whoever you think is the quote unquote better guy, I think his style of play, it makes the most sense to me that they went so heavily at Nico.
Well, it was very smart, I think, on Heupel's end and the whole Tennessee staff because they never tried to get in that Arch Manning thing. Clearly, it wasn't that they didn't think they could get Arch Manning because Nico is in that same caliber, but they chose Nico basically. Like they went after him specifically, and they never even tried to get involved with Arch Manning. Now you can say that Arch Manning wasn't going to consider Tennessee to begin with, but I don't know if that's necessarily true because he's got Florida on his list all of a sudden, and that's a coach that hasn't really proved anything. We really don't know what the offense is going to look like at Florida next year. He's in with Steve Sarkisian at Texas, who might not even make it past his second year if he doesn't improve. I think Tennessee could have got like a visit out of Arch if they would have strongly pursued him, but they made their choice. They went all in on Nico, and I think that's obviously a big reason why Tennessee was able to get him. If there's some NIL stuff as well, that obviously plays a factor. But you were going to have to do that at this point with any quarterback. You had to do
Yeah.
it to keep Hendon Hooker in Knoxville. But they weren't like the other SEC teams. They went all in on Nico, and I think that meant a lot to him.
So let's just hit some of the high points. This is from 247. I don't know if they had the exclusive, if they didn't, and it was Vol Quest. I don't know. Forgive me. This is
He
all
tweeted. He did tweet. He
he
tweeted
tweeted
his.
it.
But
Okay.
I think they might have knew.
I mean, I will. Yeah, I'll say this: they had everything prepared. Clearly, they have whole stories already up, like the second that this was announced. So, I think this was already kind of in the works. Probably why. I mean, you saw in the last week all of those guys making predictions for Tennessee to land him as a recruit. But he said they had everything that I was looking for. Iamaleava told 247 Sports, I met some incredible people, not just with the football program, but everyone we met was so welcoming to us and made me feel like home. I mean, we said that when we were talking about his visit. We did a whole segment on it on this show. I don't know how you could have had, outside of this whole NIL talk and the potential of whatever happened there. I mean, he couldn't have had a more perfect visit. And we said, like, you created such a special moment at the basketball game where they were chanting his name and he said his mom cried and all of this stuff, where you just made this visit so good, and they did such a great job when they had him here. And then maybe the NIL was just the thing that took it over the top. Well, if it happened, we got to caveat that if whatever happened there. And so let's say this: congratulations to everybody involved there. Obviously, you got to get them locked down. You got to get them under on the dotted line, and these kids can change their minds at any time. But assuming that he stays with Tennessee, what a building block this is for a recruiting class. We've already said it plenty, and this is why it's so important to get this guy, a super high profile, highly sought after quarterback. You get him in the fold, and then you can essentially, for lack of a better word, use him to say to other guys, hey, we got him. Why don't you come play with him? To a wide receiver, say he's going to be throwing you the ball, and you know how good he is. You've seen him, haven't you? And he's going to be getting you the ball on, three times on every single drive. We're going to get you huge numbers. He's going to get huge numbers, and then we're going to go win a national championship. I mean, the things that you can sell just off of having this guy in the fold is massive. I don't think that you could say that enough, just how, honestly, this is so huge. I can't believe the timing on this. This is ridiculous that we were able to fit this in. Clearly, we are not in the no recruiting fold as far as this stuff goes. But wow,
it erases.
Congrats to everybody.
Well, it
high
doesn't.
Fives all around.
It answers a lot of questions about Josh Heupel. Yeah, obviously he can recruit. Tennessee has not won a recruiting battle like this in a long time. I mean, they haven't had a 5-star quarterback in 20 some years. It's monumental, really, for the program. I don't think you can understate how important this is for all the reasons you said. I mean, it's going to lead. It legitimizes Tennessee football. It says to other 5-star recruits, 4-star recruits, like, hey, that guy's going there. I want to be a part of that. I could go to Alabama and, it'll turn out well, but I'm going to have a lot more competition there. I can go with this guy, and I'm going to have the quarterback I need to excel. It's absolutely massive for the program. I don't know what it'll directly lead to as far as the next couple of years for Tennessee football, but just in general, I think this could be what kind of turns the tide in the program to take them over the hump to competing with Georgia in the SEC East, like this moment right here. And the good news, when you were talking about you got to sign the guy, that is true. You have to do that. It never stops. You got to recruit him all the way through college now because of the transfer portal. But he's going to be your guy, and we don't usually see a lot of quarterbacks decommit. Quarterbacks like to get locked in early. They want their spot. You see them commit this time of year a lot. That's why it's kind of surprising that Arch Manning is waiting so long, and it really helped Tennessee in this process because it shifted Alabama and Georgia's focus to him, and left Nico there for Tennessee, who Ole Miss was also after Miami and Oregon. So it wasn't just Alabama and Georgia. They beat out some other top tier programs. They beat out Lane Kiffin because Lane Kiffin also badly wanted Nico.
So I'm looking now. He posted a video on Instagram that was produced. I don't know if Tennessee produced this for him. I feel like there's a pretty decent chance that that's the case, because Tennessee has an incredible video team. And it is a video with his mom, and it literally has in it the "We Want Nico" chant at the basketball game. It's him and his mom, and then they show the video of it. I don't want to say that I feel I love when I make a point on this show and I'm like super right. Can I just look. I wouldn't do this if I didn't like hear the dumb sound of my own voice, okay? But I do have to point out last week on this show or whenever it was, 2 weeks ago, I made the point that that was such a huge moment. You cannot create that where it's this organic, like, powerful moment where the fans do something like this. And as I said, you can't recreate like his mother's emotions of just having this special moment of like, this is incredible. And now she's in that video and they're talking about, oh, I killed our graphics. Whoop, there we go. Go to youtube.com to see what just happened. But the I don't know what the right word is. The usefulness, the power. That's the right word. The power of a moment like that in recruiting is so huge, and you see it right there. It's in the video.
Yeah,
I mean, he put it in the video. Like,
that's something that other programs want to replicate, and
exactly.
nothing about that was fabricated on Tennessee's end.
Not everybody
organic.
can do that.
No.
Like Tennessee can do that with this crazy, unbelievable fan base that Tennessee has. You can create that moment, and not everybody can do that. That's a special thing. And wow, let's not say that Tennessee fans did the whole thing and getting him locked in, but I think clearly that was a huge factor.
I think it played,
obviously,
I think it played a big part in it for sure. It definitely set. I think Oregon was a real threat. I think Miami was on the verge of becoming a real threat because Mario Cristobal is a very good recruiter and he's going to get a lot of good players down there. But I think, all things considered, that had a lot to do with it because, Oregon, the NIL stuff we talked about playing a factor, but I think you kind of have to look at that as like, oh, you got to do your part. You got to make the offer. It's got to be a good offer because the other schools are going to make a good offer. And Oregon with Nike money is going to make a pretty good offer too.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't look at like you have to do the NIL stuff, but I don't know how much that's going to tip the scales in recruitments moving forward because I think it's just something you have to do. That's why I think that weekend and Tennessee fans really, I can't think of a recruitment that they played a bigger part in than Nico's.
That's huge. Well, incredible stuff. Caught us completely off guard.
Yeah, that's
but unbelievable
fantastic
timing. Shout out to Nico. For he knew that we were doing this, and he said, "I'm gonna make sure that I do it before they're done recording." We appreciate that. We talked to him beforehand. I'll pull back the curtain a little bit. We talked to him beforehand. No.
You're talking about organic reaction. That was
as organic as it gets. That's real. I literally thought you were like joking. Like I thought you were making.
I wouldn't do that to you here.
Because you literally said, "Oh, well, it seems like at any time." There are some people that think that it could drop at any time. Clearly, that was the case at on a Monday. So there you go. I think that's the show. I'm Charlie Burris. That is Zach Reagan. We've laid it all out there for you today. Blood, sweat, and unfortunately because of Tennessee sports, tears. At Charlie_Burris, at Zach TNT on Twitter, at A to Z Sports, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.com/A to Z Sports, Nashville, A to Z Sports / A to Z Sports Nashville, and A to Z Sports.com for everything that Zach and I write. And then YouTube.com, type in A to Z Sports there in the search bar on YouTube and subscribe to the YouTube channel to see us and all the other shows on the network. I think that is all Whew, this was a long one, Zach, but a good one. We got it.
Yep.
We fit everything in the show. That's great. And with that said, we'll talk to y'all next week.
See you guys later.